Welcome to Literally My Life, My Guide to Girlhood, the podcast where we have honest, unfiltered conversations about success, self-growth, and navigating the complexities of life as a young woman. I'm your host, Alexandra Lamine, journalist, model, influencer, talk show host, and storyteller. I created this podcast to be the guide I wish I had, one that speaks to the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Here we break down real-life challenges from self-sabotage and ambition to relationships and mental health, all while embracing the journey of becoming our best selves. My goal is to empower and inspire you through my own experiences, the story of others, and the lessons we're all still learning. So whether you're here for advice, motivation, or just a space where you feel seen, welcome. And let's get into it. Welcome back to yet another episode of Literally My Life, My Guide to Girlhood. I am really ecstatic and probably the most energetic ever to be doing today's podcast episode. I don't know why I feel like today's topic really resonates with me. I don't know why, because I've actually kind of been missing like old boy a little bit, the one that we talk about here like all the time. But I was just like, no, I really need to do an episode on how to never get played again. Like, we'll get to the why a little bit later. But I'm really excited to be back today. Happy My Guide to Girlhood Monday. If you are new to this podcast, I think I kind of summed it up in the introduction, but basically this is a podcast all about self-growth, about self-love, and just about me being that kind of like big sister figure that I really wish I had at like 13, 14. I'm almost 18 now, so I'm telling you guys everything I wish I knew at 13 and 14 to, just give you guys the guidance that I wish I had. Before we get into today's episode, you guys know I hate to do it, but I have to do it. Self-promo, guys. Like, you guys have to follow Literally My Life, My Guide to Girlhood's Instagram. You guys have to follow our TikTok. You guys have to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're not watching on YouTube already, you guys have to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because guess what we have on our YouTube channel? Guys, I have my own talk show on there, okay? And we have some very fun episodes coming out this week, so make sure to watch the Alex Elamine Show, which is more visual aspect of the podcast. I interview a lot of athletes, entertainers, just all of the greatest people you can think of on the show. So make sure to watch the show, subscribe to our newsletter, get your little treat off of my Amazon storefront. And we do a segment on here that we'll get to towards the end of the show, the end of the podcast, titled the Ask Alex segment, where basically you guys get to submit your questions to me on our Ask Alex Google form, and I answer them on our next podcast episode, which we'll be doing today. So submit your questions, get you a little treat off the Amazon storefront, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Instagram and TikTok, and just, stay updated on all things My Guide to Girlhood, okay? Okay, so today's episode, as you can tell by the title, is titled How to Never Get Played Again, because I really feel as if we are in some kind of like epidemic or some pandemic. I feel like women are getting played in a way we haven't gotten played in a very long time. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's in the air. Like, what's the general consensus? What is the vibe? I don't understand what's going on. Like, I really don't. Well, actually, I do, and I'm going to break it down on this episode. Okay, I was inspired to do this episode because I was actually on the phone with this girl that I'm friends with, and I kind of consider her my little sister, right? So I'd be giving her advice, I'd be mentoring her, like she gets a little podcast 101 all the time, guys, right? And so I was talking to her, and she was like, I really look up to you. You're like my role model. Like, if I can't go to my mama, I go to you. And I was like, well, thank you. And she was like, no, I really like everything that you do. I really like everything you do, except for the way that you handle men and how you handle some of your friends. So I was like shocked. That was like the shade, but it wasn't even shade because she was straight up telling me. And I was like, so what don't you like? So she gave me some specific situations, and I was like, okay, I get your point. Okay, I kind of see it. I can kind of understand. I got the general consensus. I got the vibe. I was like, okay, I can see why. But yes, it's a problem. It is definitely a problem how I handle some situations with guys and some of my situations with my friends. And then I just had a moment of realization where I just was like, you know what? I have set such strong boundaries with my dating life. And every time that I'm really firm about those boundaries, I have a really great dating life. I have really productive friendships. I just have great relationships overall. But when I'm not so firm on those boundaries, I've noticed I don't have the best dating life or the most productive friendships or relationships at all. Actually, my life's a hot mess. And I haven't been super strict on those boundaries as of lately, and my life has been a hot mess. It has been a hot mess, okay? And I'm not Alex Earl. This is not okay. Wrong Alex E. Like, it's not okay. So I decided I wanted to do an episode basically about how to never get played again. Okay, we're gonna be talking about my stories getting played because I've gotten played before. I've only really gotten like dogged one good time, but I've definitely gotten played before. We're going to be answering your Ask Alex questions. We're going to really just understand the consensus, and then I'm going to give you guys my 2 cents because it's like Jerry's final thought. Did anybody ever watch like the Jerry Springer show? Like he would go along with the nonsense the whole episode and then clock everybody at the end, giving Jerry's final thought. That's what it's giving. That's what we're going to be doing today. So without further ado, let us get into today's episode. Okay, so our first segment is it's called Story Time. When I realized I was getting played, because I want to talk to you guys about the signs that I saw but ignored, because I got played once too. Like, if I can get played, it can happen to anybody. And the reason I say if I can get played, it can happen to anybody is because I'm literally so Miss Man Eater, so Miss Wizard Liz, so yes, I stand on business. Because sometimes I don't stand on the business. No, ma'am. Sometimes I allow the business to walk all over me. So let me tell you guys how I knew I was getting played. Okay, so when I was in 8th grade, I've talked about this guy on here before. When I was in the 8th grade, I met this guy through a mutual friend. And we just started talking and we would like text. And you know, you're in the 8th grade, so you're like texting on Snapchat or whatever. And he was like a freshman in high school and I thought he was so cute or whatever. Totally into him, right? This is why I say self-confidence is so important in relationships because I don't know who told me this, but for some reason I thought this man was the prize. I don't know why. Like, looking back on it, he really was like not all that. He was really not all that. But at the time, I was like, okay, this man is gorgeous. He got it going on for himself. This man is the prize. I don't know. I wish like I was like really petty and could like show you guys a photo or like just tell you guys about it, but that's okay. I thought it was the prize. So me and him were talking and I just started to see red flag after red flag after red flag that I was ignoring that I shouldn't have ignored. The first being his response times. Okay. So we would text and I swear I would be on delivered all day. Like I kid you not, I would be on delivered all day. So I'm like laughing through the pain. I just can't even believe I was like this. I'd be on delivered all day, right? And I would just wonder like what is he doing, but I'd be like, no, he's busy, like no, whatever, he's just so busy. But he wasn't busy, he just he just didn't like me very much. So that was the first red flag. If a guy likes you, he has no issue squeezing you in, making you a priority, giving you time. And I feel like that happens with girls anyway too. Like with me, if I'm texting somebody that I genuinely like, best believe when you text me, I'm going to be texting you back. It's only if I don't feel, and I subconsciously know, like I don't even have to think about it. When I see your notification, if I don't find you that important, I'm not going to answer the message. But if I like you and I get like a little tingly feeling when you text me or when you call me, I'm going to answer you. Like, no doubt about it. So that's just human psychology. Like we answer the people we want to answer. We make time for the people we want to make time for. Things that are important to us, we make time for it. I make time to do this podcast because it's important to me. I don't have to be doing this every week. I do it because it's important to me and because I love doing it and because I love the community. But if it wasn't important to me, if I didn't really care about it, y'all would have episodes every now and then. It's all about what we make time for. But I ignored that red flag and I was just like, oh, he's busy. He wasn't busy. He really wasn't doing anything. He really was not busier than your regular person. But so we prevail. So, okay. So he doesn't answer me, right? First red flag. Second red flag, this is the first time I ever dealt with this and probably the last time because I put those boundaries up. I was firm about this one. This was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced with this man. So I live in Chicago, right? I've talked about that multiple times. I don't know what it is about Chicago because it is huge. It is like one of the largest cities in the United States. It is so huge, but it seems like everybody knows everybody. And if I don't know you, my cousin know you, my friend know you, you went to school with my mama. Like, I don't know what it is about Chicago, but we're all connected. You ask anybody from Chicago, they know somebody who knows me, who knows my mama, who know my cousin. Like, it's so weird. Like, I'm telling you, we all know each other. I give you that background information to say, if you are dating in Chicago, it is very easy to be cheated on and embarrassed by somebody you know. Like, if you're getting cheated on by a guy, and even if you guys just met in the 9th, 10th, 11th grade, he can cheat on you with your friend from the 6th grade, not even know that's your friend from the 6th grade. Like, it's so easy to get embarrassed like that in Chicago. I don't know what it is because it is so huge, but we know each other. So scroll through, like, my feed on Instagram, just really enjoying myself and enjoying my life. And I would see this man and everybody likes. But the thing is, with him being in everybody likes, I knew these girls. And it wasn't even like, oh, I'd seen them before at a party or we passed by each other. I genuinely knew these girls. Like, one of them I went to middle school with, one of them I grew up with, like literally from the sandbox, known this girl. There was another girl, I can't even remember who it was. I remember the other two, but there was another girl that I also knew. Like, he was literally in girls' likes that I knew. And at this time, I'm publicly claiming him. I'm parading him around. I'm like, okay, this is my man, my man, my man. Hey, you. Like, this is my man. Like, if I had the podcast at the time, I would have been like, hi to my man. I was so into this man. Girl, like, this man. And this man was in, like, my homegirl from, like, 6th grade's likes. Like, are you for real? Like, are you so for real? My homegirl since the sandbox likes. Like, that was so embarrassing. And I would have to, like, literally text these girls and be like, do you know my man? Like, are you talking to my man? And be like, girl, no. What was more embarrassing was these girls wouldn't even follow him back. That was the most embarrassing part. Like, it was like he was, like, ugly in a way because these were some baddies, right? And I'm like, okay, like, my man's entertaining the baddies, but the baddies weren't even entertaining him. So why was I entertaining him? I have no idea, okay? So, as you guys can probably tell by the story, he didn't like me at all. He didn't really like me at all. And one day I actually grew out of that, really realized my self-worth and my self-esteem, and he still want to be with me to this day. That's not the point of this at all. The point of this is to say I could have saved myself, because I was actually sad about this man for like a while. I could have saved myself a lot of heartache, a lot of time, had I just listened to my gut and had I not ignored the red flags, because I was investing in somebody who was not investing in me. I was thinking about somebody who was not thinking about me. I cared about somebody who didn't care about me. And although that shows that I'm like, I have a good character and I have a good heart and I can love someone and meet them where they're at, you shouldn't do that. I shouldn't have done that. You can absolutely love and care for somebody from a distance, but you don't got to be up in their face. No ma'am, no ham, no chicken, no turkey. Like, do not do that. I don't know why I invested so much time. Well, actually, I do know why I invested so much time in somebody who was not investing their time, their energy, their effort, or their care in me. And it was because I had low self-esteem. Now, I saw something on the TikTok the other day, and it was like, if somebody came up to you and said, I can really tell how much you love yourself by your partner, would you be offended or complimented? And I was taken aback, but literally, you can tell how much you love yourself by the partners you choose. I must not really. At the time, I was very insecure. I was 13 years old. And when you're 13, or I was like 14, I think. And when you're 13, 14, you're going through that like identity crisis thing where you're about to go to high school and you're like, oh, my high school pretty. And it's like a whole thing, right? So I was going through this whole identity crisis with that. And I just didn't think I was like physically attractive. I've opened up a lot about my insecurities about being like plus size at the time and just all kinds of stuff. And it was just a lot for me. Um, and I just let that affect my dating life. And I was totally willing to give someone a shot who really, really did not deserve a shot, just simply because I had low self-esteem. And looking back on it, I was cute. I was cute. I did not act as cute as I was, and I let this man think he was the prize. And when you let a man think he is the prize, he will show you he is the prize. Men will really, like, if you let a man sit up there and think he is all that in a bag of potato chips, he will show you that he's all that in a bag of potato chips. That's the problem with men. That's why I'm over here playing with my ring light. That's why you can't let them think that. You have to be like, no, no, no. No, I'm the prize. Like, actually, I make this relationship interesting. I am Barbie and you're just Ken. You're just there. And that's what you have to do. That was the mindset shift that helped me walk away and never really look back at somebody who just wasn't valuing me and who didn't see my worth. Okay, so let's get into segment number 2. Red flags 101, how to spot a player from a mile away. Here are some lines I have heard that I have believed that you should not believe. Okay. If a guy tells you he's not looking for anything serious or he's not looking for a relationship right now, he's lying to you. Men are always looking for relationships. They will drop all of their guards down for the girls of their dreams. He just doesn't want a relationship with you. If he only texts you up at night or like he only hits you up at night or whatever, he just wants to have sex with you. He does not like you. If a man does not text you in the daytime, he more than likely just wants to hit it and quit it. He does not care about you. If his words don't match his actions, his real feelings are in the actions, he don't care about you. A man that like will not sit up there and make you feel special, like men are not that complicated. I think we overcomplicate things in our heads ourselves just as women. Men are not that complicated. How they treat you is how they feel about you. Yeah, guys can put on a good game of like pillow talking, but a guy only pillow talks you for real when he wants to sleep with you and all that. And like that's it. A guy will tell you, you know, I be thinking about you and I really do love you for real. It's just my demons. Like I miss my grandma or something. That's game. Like he doesn't like you. It's a line. Like if a guy likes you, you know. If you're confused, he doesn't. Men put their feelings on display very easily. Like you can tell when a guy likes you. And I've noticed that now, like when guys like me and I'm not interested though, I can tell I can tell you like me because they go out of their way to show you. They're always texting you. They'll annoy you. They'll come up to you. Like they just have like a thing for you, right? And and you're just like, oh, you know, he has a thing for me, but I don't really have a thing for him or whatever. But it's so easy to tell because that's just how guys are. Now, if a guy, you know, you can't really tell if he likes you or not or whatever, he just doesn't like you. That's serious. And there's such importance in mirroring energy. You know what I mean? Like stop giving effort when he's giving the bare minimum. If somebody's giving you the bare minimum, get up and walk away. I don't care how much you like him. I don't care how much potential you see in him. I don't care if you're like so obsessed with the version of him that you see in your head. Walk away. Literally walk away. You deserve so much better. You do not have to sit up here and hope for somebody to change. A man that actually wants you, his effort, his energy, his actions will align with the words that he is saying out of his mouth. Okay? You will not have to second guess a man that wants you. Like this is going to be the quote of the episode. I even wrote this girl down. A man who truly wants you will never put you in a position to question it. Okay? And it's so crazy to think that, but I'm telling you, if a guy is not going out of his way to show you that he likes you, to show you that he cares about you, to be consistent, to get you flowers, to listen to you, to match your energy, he does not like you. He just doesn't like you. And you need to walk away. My saving grace in most situations is if like when I test the waters a little bit and I can see a guy doesn't like me, I can walk away. When you walk away, then you are saving yourself a lot of time, a lot of issue, a lot of heartache. And a guy also like might see that you stand on business a little bit and respect you a little bit more. So that's what you need to do. Do not listen to that voice in your head. If that is something I could go and tell back my younger self, like do not listen to that voice in your head. Do not listen to that, oh, he might change or, oh, he has potential. No, he has no potential. He is what he is and he has showed it to you. And let me tell you another thing I heard on the Steve Harvey show. Okay, I'm not even kidding. Don't ever let a man have to tell you twice that he doesn't want you. Don't ever do that. I literally am the prime example of that. I have literally had a man tell me more than once he does not want me directly. That was one time I got dogged out, but that's okay. And I wish I had listened to him. And whether it's through his words or his actions or his energy or whatever, do not ever let a man have to tell you twice he does not want you. If he tells you he does not want you one time, you get your bags, you pack them, you move, and you leave. You do not sit up there and try to prove your worth to any man because a man who really wants you will already see it. He will automatically see it when you walk through the door. A man who really wants you sees your potential, sees that you're worthy, and shows you that you are worthy. So do not ever let a man tell you twice he does not want you. Okay? I'm serious about that. And I'm like practicing that in my real life because I've had a man tell me once or twice or three or four. But I'm serious about that. Like if I'm going to start practicing this, you guys need to start practicing it. I'm serious. There is such importance in mirroring energy. Okay? Get up and walk away. Do not listen to that little voice in your head. Listen to your gut. Listen to your actions. Listen to his actions. Okay? Period. Okay. Now let us transition into segment 3, how to flip the script and stop getting played. How to get up. Okay? Like get up, girl. Like this is ridiculous. Like, oh my goodness. Okay. One thing I have been learning to practice is the power of detachment. Okay. How to not catch feelings for a man who hasn't earned a spot in your life. Now, when you see a guy, I do this thing where you test the waters. If you see a guy that you think is cute, you're just meeting him, you're seeing how he is, just do a thing where you test the waters. Don't fall in love too quickly. Do not be like, oh, this is my man, it's gonna be my man or whatever. Even if he is hot, even if he is sexy, even if he just makes you blush when you look at him. Don't test the waters. Test waters. Do not fall in love too quickly. Because when you get your emotions involved too fast, you're gonna get that little voice in your head that's like, oh, it's his potential, or oh, he's gonna change. And then you'll listen to that voice. Do not do that. Do not do that. Okay? When you test the waters a little bit, it gives you the power to not fall in love so fast so that you can quickly remove yourself from the situation if it goes left too soon. Do you understand? But if you fall too fast, you won't be able to remove yourself as fast because you're all into it. Now, there's a thing about like a roster mindset. Now, I'm not encouraging this, but he's more than likely, like if he's talking to other girls, you can have you a man or two on deck, a little backup plan or something. Personally, I don't do the whole roster thing. I don't know why, but like I just don't do the roster thing. Well, actually, I'll tell you why. I choose favorites. So my thing with a guy is like if I actually like really like a guy and I feel like he's worth my time and worth my energy, I'm going to put him in my life and I'm going to prioritize him. And if he's not worth my life, if he's not worth being in my life, I'm not going to prioritize him. I don't really do the roster thing. I don't really have the energy to text 5 people good morning, but I'm also old and I have my own podcast and my show and I go to school full time and I'm tired and I have friends and a life and a career. Like it's a lot. But when I was younger, oh, best believe I had a roster. Third thing you need to do is set boundaries, set standards, and stick to them. No more like, oh, but he's different. Oh, he's going to change. No more of those excuses. I'm serious. Do not listen to that little voice in your head. Actually, squash it. Kill that little thing in your head. Okay. I have certain boundaries and certain standards that I developed after like my first little like hormonal breakup. And when I stick to those standards, I told you guys, I said at the beginning of the episode, my dating life goes great. My relationships overall just improve. But when I don't stick to those standards, I end up in the situation that I'm in now. I didn't even tell you guys about this. I have mentioned him on here before. There was a guy I know. There's a guy that I know that was a possible contender for Alex. And I was just like, okay. And I was really opening up myself and I was like talking about it in therapy, like letting my guard down, like being more vulnerable. We've talked about that on the podcast. Like I was really going, girl, he played in my face. Like he literally played in my face. Not only did he play in my face, but I let him play in my face by continuing to give him the energy to play in my face. I just was like letting him in my space energy every day. I don't know what space energy is. It's getting late. I'm tired. I was like letting him in my face every day, be around me every day, knowing that he didn't want me anymore. So I didn't stick to my standards because my standard usually is like, if I can tell you don't want anything with me, I can tell you're just not into me anymore or whatever. I just get up and walk away. At the time though, which is now, I was just listening to that little voice. Kill that little voice in your head. And just know, like, the last thing for me is just like knowing when to cut someone off. Like, if he wants to be inconsistent, let him be inconsistent with somebody else. Be inconsistent with your mama. You can't be inconsistent with me. And the way to do this is to value yourself and value your time. I do not have the time for a haphazard man. I do not have the time for a man who wants me one day and doesn't want me the next. I don't have time for that. I am a high value woman. I am a woman of God. I am a Proverbs 31 woman. And I know I'm a catch. I know I'm the prize. So if you cannot see that, you are cut and you are blocked. I will say this, the one time, I've done it before, but like one and the best times I have stood on business, I like would never talk about it on the podcast. It's such a messy situation in real life. But one time I really, really stood on business with a guy. That man has been sick for years because he couldn't see my potential when he had me and I cut him off at the root, never spoke to him in life despite having to see him all the time. Girl, that man has been sick for years. That man is still sick, actually. That man is throwing up as we speak. So yes, the best way to flip the script and stop getting played is to value your time. And when you see that somebody's being inconsistent, when you see somebody's playing with your time, because your money is your time, and we don't play about our money over here. We love free coin, okay? When you notice somebody is playing with your time, they get cut off. Period. Okay. Now let's do our Ask Alex questions. Our Ask Alex link is in our episode description, so make sure to click that link below and submit your questions for a chance to be featured on Literally My Life's next episode. So I asked you guys for some questions about this theme. Let's see. Alex, be so for real. Why do I keep falling for emotionally unavailable men? Because you think you can change them. Feel like sometimes, and I will say this for a very good friend of mine. I remember my best friend would fall for people that she thought she could change because they're fixer-up projects. They're people I'm gonna fix them. They just need this, that, and the third. And I used to do that maybe in the 8th or 7th grade, and then I got past that. But my best friend still does that. She'll be like, no, I'm gonna fix you. I'm gonna change you. I'm gonna mold you into this perfect product that I like. No, man. You fall for emotionally unavailable men because you want to be the one to change them. They need therapy. They don't need a girlfriend. If you notice a man is emotionally unavailable, remember that you deserve so much more than an emotionally unavailable man. You are a literal princess, in the words of Christian Walker, and you deserve to be treated like one. So if you meet somebody and he can't communicate his feelings or be consistent or just show you the love and the attention that you need and deserve, he has to go. Me and my grandmother, we always say this thing, my grandmother would always say this things about guys, when she would break up with them, she would say she would fire them. And that's what I say now too. So yeah, if he can't be the man that you need, if he's emotionally unavailable, girl, he got to be fired. He got to go. Okay, second one. Hey Alex, my ex cheated and now he's begging for me back. Should I take him back? Girl, no. Why would you take him back? Why would what? Cheating is a whole thing. I could do an episode on cheating because I've been cheated on one time, and I'm telling you guys, it sent me into a moment. No, you should not get back with somebody that has cheated on you. I don't even understand the concept of cheating. I really could do a whole episode on cheating itself. If you guys want me to do that episode, I would totally do it. But no, because for somebody to cheat on you, they have to make a conscious decision to hurt you. And anybody who can make a conscious decision to hurt you just does not deserve you. And yeah, it hurts because I feel like cheating, especially as women, really hurts your self-esteem because it makes you think well, what wasn't I doing? What made me not good enough to the point where you had to go and find whatever I was lacking in someone else? But it's really not you. It's really, really not you. A person who is receiving absolute genuine love and has somebody in their life who is nothing but pure love for them and genuine intentions and decides to hurt them or decides to cheat on them or lie to them or anything like that, it just shows that they feel like they're not worthy of that love. So they have to mess it up. They have to sabotage it. Coming from somebody who used to sabotage things, but I never cheated. Yeah. And he sabotaged that relationship. When a man cheats on you, he's showing you he doesn't want you, make him stand on that. Do not take that man back after cheating. Ask me how I know. Okay. Hi, Alex. I was talking to this guy for months and suddenly he needs space. But is still watching my stories. What does this mean? Okay, so he wants you to sit there and be available for him until he's ready to stop exploring his other options. And if you are going to let him do that, please don't. Please do not let that man play in your face like that. I would say, since he's watching your stories, definitely get dolled up all the time. Definitely be cutesy. Definitely be demure. But do not sit up there and let him play in your face like that. He does not need space. He just doesn't want you. And make him stand on that. A man, why would somebody who wants you need space from you? What does that even mean? Yes, he just does not want you. He's watching your stories to make sure that you're still available. You're still in the position that he needs you to be, just in case his other options don't work out. Show him that you're not an option, leaving him where you met him. Okay? Please leave that man alone. And doll yourself up. Get yourself cute on your stories. Go to dinner. Men hate when you go to dinner. I don't know what it is, but if you break up with a guy and then you go to dinner afterward, he'll be so sick. Go to dinner. Really enjoy yourself and keep a lot of your stuff private. Make him you know what I mean? Don't post whether or not you had a man, whether you don't got a man. Don't post anything about your situations. Just post yourself being cute all the time. Make him sick. And if he slides up or anything or tries to contact you, ghost him. Please do not text that man. Do not text that man back. He don't want you. Okay. Hi, Alex. I keep catching my man liking girls' pictures on Instagram. Is that a red flag? Yes, that's crazy. I just talked about that. Yes, girl, if he's double tapping too much, because it's so embarrassing. Guys don't understand how embarrassing that is, especially, like I said, when you come from a town like Chicago. Because when a girl gets upset with you or if anything happens, the first thing she's going to be like, well, Alex's man was in my likes, so obviously she's upset about her man wanting me or whatever. Like, that's like so embarrassing. Like, that is genuine. And how do you even rebut that claim? Because like he was in your likes, like he must want you. Like, that's genuinely so embarrassing. Like, you automatically lost an argument. Guys don't even understand that embarrassment though. They just don't get it. Yeah, it's definitely weird. Even if he just follows like Instagram models or like porn stars or whatever. First of all, like a man of God will never lust over any other girls. So, or you. So I feel like that kind of shows the lust in his heart. If he's over here following and liking booty models pictures, like that man got to go. That is not a man of God. That is not the man you need in your life. That is very much a red flag, and you need to leave him alone. You need to run. Okay? Like, I'm serious. Like, that is like enough to cut somebody off. Run. Go through his following when you meet him. And run if you see a booty model in there. Okay. Alex, tell me why this man says he loves me but won't post me. Girl, you know why? I feel like that's the thing. I feel like we secretly know why. Why would he post you? Like, you're his best kept secret, girl. A man will literally sit up there and post his lunch, his dinner, his workout, his pre-workout, his gym hits, but he won't post you. He wants people to see his lunch, his workouts, his gym hits, his post-workout, all that stuff. But he won't post you because he don't want people to see that he's with you. Because A, he's either embarrassed of you, or B, he has another girl watching his story. A man that really likes you will so publicly claim you, because men like to feel like they have trophies a little bit. It's just like something demented that they like, but they're like, oh, I got me this fine young thing. Like, I'm gonna post her, I'm gonna claim her. This is gonna be my girl. Like, I'm gonna post her everywhere for her to see. Like, I want people to see this is my woman. This is mine. This is my trophy. So if he's not posting you, he's either embarrassed of you or has another girlfriend or both. So run. That's another reason to cut somebody off. Okay. So this is our last Ask Alex question. So she says, hi, Alex. Recently, I've been feeling so insecure about my body, and I need advice to overcome that. I'm not usually the insecure type, but I've been noticing the guy I like his types, so his exes and stuff, they are all big boobs and curves, and I just don't fit that. He is genuinely so caring and for me, and he has never given me a reason to feel insecure. He's very reassuring. It's just me overthinking everything. Not loving yourself is so exhausting and low-key embarrassing to this point. A whole lot of yap, my bad. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being a yapper, because I literally am a podcaster. So we don't judge over here. I would say this kind of goes back to our episode where we were talking about sabotaging, because that's something I had definitely struggled with for a really long time. Don't let your fears or your insecurities rob you from what could be the best relationship of your life. I would say definitely do some shadow work and just really learn to love yourself, really do some stuff that is for yourself to boost your confidence, so that you don't let your lack of confidence rob you from a relationship. Because I've been in that position before. I've been that girl that's like, oh, I start liking a guy, or I get with a guy or whatever, and I just notice everything that I lack. Even though he's great and he's doing his part, it's just like I notice everything that I lack. You don't want that to rob you from a good relationship. So I would say comparison is the thief of joy. You are absolutely beautiful in the way you are. So do not sit up there and compare yourself to his old girls, because if he still wanted to be with his old girls, he'd be with his old girls, but he's with you. So do not compare yourself to any of those women, and do not let your lack of confidence rob you from what could be a great relationship. I would say just really take this time to invest in yourself, because the better we treat ourselves, the better we can treat others. So the more you show up for yourself, the more you'll show up in that relationship. So yeah, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for submitting that question. And thank you guys so much for submitting those Ask Alex questions. I love doing them. That's probably my favorite segment on the podcast. Again, to submit your Ask Alex questions, just click the link in our episode description and submit your questions, guys. And they are completely anonymous, and I will answer them on next week's episode, I promise. Okay, guys, so I want to transition to our final segment, the I'm That Girl kind of like recovery plan. Step one, okay, to this recovery plan is blocking, unfollowing, erasing all those men. No more checking in. And I was really guilty of this, but I've had my ex blocked for like 3 years-ish on and off, and it's been great. Like, keep him blocked. Like, do not unblock that man. By consistently checking somebody's social media, you're just giving them the energy in your life that they do not deserve.
Remember we talked about giving people energy that don't deserve energy. Remember we talked about that? Don't give them energy. Do not give them energy. Block, unfollow, delete those men. Do not keep those men in your life, okay? If you went down my block list, it would be a lot of people that I don't like, a lot of girls that I don't like, and then the men I have dated, because they just do not deserve that energy. Well, actually only one, because he's the only one I really care about still. Step 2, focus on you. Really focus on you. Like, that is my best piece of advice when you're going through any kind of breakup or any kind of situation where you keep getting played or whatever. Focus on yourself. New hobbies, new gym, just like leveling up in life. That has helped me so much. Like, taking the time to really sit there and prioritize myself, my mental being, my well-being, like overall, has helped me so much overcome the lack of confidence, the lack of self-esteem, the sadness, the despair. By sitting there and like really putting the time to getting Alex together, it has just helped me so much. Focus on yourself, okay? Because when you focus on yourself, like I said, when you show up for yourself better, you're able to show up for other people better. So when you show up for yourself in a good way, you're going to be able to show up for yourself when you're dating and in friendships and in relationships overall. People are not going to walk all over you anymore because you're not going to let them, because you have taken the time, you have done the work to focus on yourself, to know that you do not deserve to be walked all over anymore. So that when people walk all over you, or when they attempt to walk all over you, you know that you are a high valued woman, you know that you are a woman of God, and you are going to cut that lustful demon off at its source, okay? And then last and final step, only entertain men who meet your standards from day one. No exceptions. When you, like I said, when you meet a guy, you will know whether or not he likes you by the way he acts. And if he is not acting like he likes you, if he's not giving you the time, the energy, the attention that you deserve, that man has to go. No exceptions. I don't care what he looks like. I don't care how much money he makes. I don't care. God has better for you in store, okay? Do not let any man play in your face anymore. And the best way to do it, the best way, my Jerry's final thought, is to not play about yourself, okay? Focus on you, focus on your self-esteem, focus on how much you love yourself, focus on prayer, focus on working out, focus on eating healthy, focus on doing well in school. And then a man will see that. A man will naturally gravitate. You don't have to go out and chase a man. You don't have to go out and be in these streets. A man will naturally gravitate towards a woman who is building something for herself. When you sit up there and you say, you know what, I don't really care about a relationship. I don't really, because that's what happens with me a lot. I don't really care about a relationship in this point in my life. I care about, my relationship with God, my relationship with my family, my schoolwork, and my career. And a man will notice that. He will notice your boss energy. He will notice how great you are, and he will naturally gravitate towards you. And then if you see that he wants to give you the world, let him. And if you see that he's full of crap, let him go. Okay? Wow. So let's close this out, guys, because you are the prize. You are the catch. Act accordingly. You are a princess, according to Mr. Christian Walker, babe. Like, literally, if I don't yell at you enough, let Christian yell at you. He gonna really get it through your head. Every time I need to be reminded, I watch He's Just Not That Into You, and I listen to a Christian Walker and watch My Wizard Liz, okay? Do not let any man play in your face anymore. And the best way to do that, once again, is to not play about you. I am going to do this, I promise. I'm telling you guys, that guy that I know that I've let play in my face for a little bit too long, he gets nothing else from me. Cut off at the source. I will be not having conversations about him. I will not be having conversations with him. I will not be looking at his way. He is done. We are done. And not because he's done a particular thing or because I'm mad at him or whatever, but just because I cannot continue to let this individual be in my life and suck the life out of me because he don't want me anymore. You don't want me anymore. Why are you in my face every day? Back up. We're done. It's over. Okay, guys, without further ado, I'm definitely going to close out this episode, but I would love for you guys to DM me on our Instagram. The link is in the description below, or submit your more Ask Alex questions for the next episode. And I would love for you guys to leave your review. They help more than you know. And send your juiciest dating dilemmas for the next Ask Alex segment. I love doing Ask Alex, and I really want to hear you guys' stories. I would literally do a whole episode of just reading you guys' dating stories. I'm telling you guys. And yes, just remember, if you have to hear a pep talk, go back to our You're That Girl Even When You Don't Feel Like It episode, okay? Because you are that girl, okay? I really want to remind you guys again, don't ever let a man tell you more than once he does not want you. Don't ever let a man tell you twice, okay? I'm serious about that, so serious about that. I'm very, very serious. Remember who you are. Just love yourself. Continue to show up for yourself, because when you show up for yourself, you're able to show up better for others. I love you guys endlessly. Make sure to keep up with Literally My Life, My Guide to Girlhood on Instagram, on TikTok, subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch the Alex Elamine Show, and yes, read our newsletter, get you a treat off my Amazon storefront. Just do the whole darn thing. Really, just stay up to date with us. I love you guys so much. Thanks for listening to yet another episode of this great podcast, and I look forward to seeing you on our next My Guide to Girlhood. That's it for today's episode of Literally My Life, My Guide to Girlhood. If you found this episode valuable, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. It helps more than you know. You can also keep up with me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, where I share even more insights, interviews, and behind-the-scenes moments. Remember, growth isn't always pretty, but every step forward is a step closer to the life you deserve. Keep showing up for yourself, keep striving, and as always, stay focused, stay fearless, and stay you. Until next time.